Welcome back. It's time for the rounds, and we'll begin here with a Ford SPG. Seeing as it's green, looks like we got a Ford SPG. Problem child. My son Curtis has recently started behaving rather violently. I'm concerned he might have made friends with some bad eggs. I would like you to investigate what happened to him. I will explain things at my house in Old Town, Zora. Oh. There's still a lingering scent. Gotta check the other bulletin boards.
Alrighty.
Well, let's head over to their house then. I thought things had sorted themselves out a little bit here, but apparently not. You're Zora, right? The one who put the call out for us? We're with Arkwright Solutions. Nice to meet you. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for coming. Please, have a seat. I'll get some tea ready in just a minute. Oh, lovely. I could have done with some milk, really, but alright. I was curious what a Spriggan would be like, you know. But you look just like normal people. I might have even seen you around town before. I mean, we've been inside your house before. Randomly. You probably have. Our office is in Old Town. I know some stuff about you and your son. He's studying for high school entrance exams, right? Wow, you weren't kidding. You really do know about us. We were speaking to you several times throughout the year. But you're right. We're hoping he'll be able to get into NIS Academy. So I've been having him rigorously study every day. His grades were in a bit of a rut for a while, but they have thankfully started improving. Yeah, I thought things were starting to work out for them, so it's like, okay, so what's going on here? Not that I ever doubted him, of course. He's my son, so of course he's capable. If he keeps this up, he'll surely nail a spot in the academy at the tippy top of his class. Mum's real, passionate about her kid's education. I don't think it's inherently wrong to want your child to succeed, but she might be taking it a bit too far. But right as he's starting to show some promise, the situation turns dire. Curtis has been behaving rather strangely as of late. He's become violent all of a sudden, yelling really loudly, hitting things. He's never done that before. Never in his life. He's always been a good boy. He must be in some awful company if he's acting this way. Just the most logical explanation. I take my eyes off him for a moment, and this happens. That's why I need you. Please figure out what happened to my precious Curtis. So what if he's gotten a little sassy? I'd want to curse myself mute if I was getting choked like this 24/7. Really, I don't think it would hurt to look around a little and make sure he isn't falling in with a bad crowd just to be safe. What do you think, then? Should we help her? Maybe. Give me a minute to think about it. Well, yes. Law will go up as well, so that's nice. Alright, we'll take the case. Fantastic, thank you so much. If you don't mind me asking, ma'am, where is Curtis right now? He's out buying some reference material. There's a bookstore in the Tyrell district we'd like to shop at. I imagine he's there. Oh, so he's out right now. Perfect. Before we start with anything else, mind if we search his room? I ain't too hot on digging through a teen's room like that, but it's the most obvious place to start looking. I understand. You can search his room. Follow me upstairs. Bet you anything he's got all the good dirty mags hidden under his mattress. How did I know you were going to say that? Because it's Aaron. Problem child. Alright, let's head upstairs. Hello. Can we just go in? Like, what? Is there anything under there? Like, you gotta check, haven't you? You gotta check. Here you are. This is Curtis's room. Thanks for showing us. Alright, let's get this done before the kids are back home. Van and the rest started combing through Curtis's bedroom. At first, they found nothing of note that could plausibly explain his violent turn in behavior. The only objects kept hidden were mock exams with failing scores. But a few minutes later, well, look at that. Did you find something, Van? You bet. Take a look at what I found tucked away inside the desk drawer. A mint tin. It looks empty. I don't think I recognize that brand. Could you explain what it is? They sell tobacco-flavored mints inside these suckers. You only get them if you're smoking or trying to quit. That would explain why it doesn't smell like cigs in here. He could have been chewing on those instead of lighting one up. They taste like what? They might not be the real thing, but only delinquents even think about smoking at his age. Oh, my poor Curtis, where did I go wrong with you? I thought I raised you to be such a good boy. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We might be missing something that explains why he had this tin. I know exactly why he had it. It's all my husband's fault. Him and that scandal of his that got him demoted from the Bank of Edith. We were forced to move into Old Town because of that. If we were living in a safer neighborhood, my son wouldn't be straying from the path. My husband was supposed to start working at a subsidiary once he was out of probation. But where do I end up finding him instead? Monmar! I caught him eating there again! Without a care in the world while I was out shopping. Absolutely ridiculous. Has he been working this whole time, or just pulling the wool over my eyes? I can't trust him anymore. Would you? Wow. She just keeps going. Anyway, this tin gives us a good jumping off point. We'll keep sniffing around and see what turns up. Pardon my outburst. I'll leave you all to it. I'll be waiting for your report downstairs. What's the matter, Van? Did you notice something else? Yeah, the tin still stings. It's faint, but you can still get a whiff if you get real close to it. It smells just like an Orbal hookah. It was like a lifetime ago, but I'd recognize that smell anywhere. What? Really? And here I thought we were finally done with that bullshit. I remember you telling me about that case. I don't know if I'm more surprised by the Orbal hookahs coming back, or that hound's nose of yours picking up the smell. I don't remember hearing about that stuff coming in tablets. Where did he get something like that? I worry for how his health might be affected. Alright, Chief, what's the plan? Did we go straight to the kid and get him to spill? No. We need to figure out where these things came from in the first place. Right now, this stays between us. Nothing good can come of his mum catching wind of this. With a firecracker of a mum like that, I can only imagine. Since we're talking about tobacco-flavored mints, maybe a cigarette seller would know something? If his father smokes too, that could also lead somewhere. Agreed, might as well look into both of those. The mum said something about her husband eating at Monmar? Curtis is an option. I went back into his room. I thought I was going down the stairs, but no. No. Like I thought I was inside the room. It was going outside. It's like, no. I was outside the room, going inside. Well, I'll go ahead and get dinner ready. Your report will get here when it gets here. What kind of wretch would give Curtis those ghastly pills? Surely my poor innocent boy wouldn't stoop that low. He must have been coerced. So we got in here. Oh yeah, they did mention you were going to be doing this, didn't they? He's not randomly here, is he? Like that would be funny. Like, oh, there he is. Like, nope. Bring up topic of Curtis.
Can we talk?
Sorry to interrupt your class. Can we have a quick chat? We wanted to ask about a kid we've been hired to look into. Name's Curtis. Of all the times, I guess we can if it really can't wait. Let's go somewhere else. Van explained the request he and the others received from Curtis's mother. They also explained his stark change in personality. Right, okay. Not gonna lie, I think his parents are making a storm in a teacup. Kid's not gonna turn into some hard-headed criminal because of this. But to answer your question, I do know who you're talking about. He came to my tobacco kiosk about an hour ago. He did? Yeah, he asked if I had any tobacco-flavored mints for sale. I told him I don't sell them, and that even if I did, a kid like him shouldn't go anywhere near them. He got all huffy and started yelling, called me an old hag, which was nice of him. Wow, I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. Damn, kid's got balls to say that to your face. What did he do after that? Beats me. My guess is he went looking for some other place he could sucker into selling him those mints. Makes sense. Thanks for the info. Oh dear, Curtis. Oh dear. What are you doing around here, Eddie? We'll find out later anyway. Alright, you mate, what's going on here, eh?
Can we talk?
Got a minute? We want to ask you something about your son. Van explained the request from Roman's wife and summarized the team's findings thus far. What? My son is chewing on tobacco-flavored mints? I can't believe it. He's never been the brightest at school, but I didn't think he'd be that stupid. Sir, please calm down. As an aside, do you smoke at all yourself? Goodness, no. Why would I? The smell would only make our clients uncomfortable. Then do you have any idea why Curtis would be taking those tablets? Any idea at all? Oh, I know what's going on with him. Boy must be getting lazy, tired of studying for entrance exams, so he must be taking them as a distraction. It's gonna be the parents' fault. It's like he's just acting out kind of thing because his parents are constantly fighting and blaming each other for everything, you know. What an embarrassment. He's getting real spoiled if he thinks he can get away with all of this nonsense. When I was his age, I was so focused on my studies, I didn't even eat or sleep. Just what in Gehenna is Zora doing raising our son for him to turn out like that? What's his problem? I get that he's mad, but he's still the kid's dad. With parents like these, kid was gonna start acting out sooner or later. Yeah. Thanks for the info. We'll get out of your hair now. Well, that's both people on our list. And none of it helped. Dad didn't really tell us anything new about the kid, and we got no info to go on about those mints. Guess the last stop's the bookstore his mum mentioned. He might not even be there, but it can't hurt to talk to him if he is. If he's not, we can always ask the staff. They might know something. Alright, so let's head on over there then. Tyrell Bookstore.
Taking off now.
And not here then. Definitely not here, is he? No, very well.
Can we talk?
I don't see anyone who looks like they could be Curtis. I'll hit up the manager and see what she has to say. Excuse me, does the name Curtis ring a bell by any chance? Van explained the request he and the others received from Curtis's mother. They also explained his stark change in personality. Oh, wow, poor Curtis. Had no idea he was going through all of that. He comes here a lot, so one of my workers and I make a point of looking after him and helping him with his studies. Unfortunately, I couldn't tell you anything about his personal life. All those mints you mentioned. It's all news to me. That's okay. We appreciate you talking to us at all. If you don't mind me asking, could you tell us about the other worker? Oh, I recognize you. You come here a lot too. You're from Aramis, aren't you? His name is Albert. You probably know him, right? Oh. Yes, absolutely. Can't believe I forgot that this is where he works. Sure does. He and Curtis seem to get along really well. He would recommend reference books for Curtis to buy and whatnot. Between the two of us, I imagine Albert would know more about him than I do. Fat load of good, that'll do unless we can track the nerd down. Any ideas where he might be? At this hour, he's probably either on campus or somewhere around the Alba district. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go find him. That's exactly what we're gonna do. Fingers crossed he doesn't turn out to be a dead end. He could be the cause of all this. That's the thing. He could be the cause. I still think the parents are at fault in all this. but there could be a more direct cause and somehow it's him. Potentially? Alright, Arbor District. Oh, it's just around the corner. Huh. We need to do the rounds here at some point, don't we? Because it's like we're not looked around here at all. Ooh, key event over there. Well, I did a sub-event over there. Key events are red. What am I saying? Very well, anyway.
This year's almost over.
Let me ask you something.
I'm sorry to call you all of a sudden, Albert. It's alright. It looks like it's something you need to be discreet about. Something like that. We're looking into someone right now. Do you know Curtis? Van's team told Albert what they heard from Curtis's mum. They also mentioned how he'd changed recently. Damn it, I knew something was up. He'd been acting strangely lately. Maybe unstable is the best word for it. It was very different from his usual self. How long have you known him? I don't really want to help you. But I guess I noticed it around late October, early November. He was pretty down in the dumps before that, saying he'd lost motivation. But he then started being all excited about his studies all of a sudden. Something was off about it though. I don't know where all that enthusiasm came from. Thank you for letting us know. Have you heard anything in particular about his friends? As if he was hanging around with a bad crowd? No, not really. Didn't look like it anyway. Maybe. It's not quite that. But I remember someone that looked like him hanging around the back streets in the Tyrell district. Since it was at night and the guy I was talking to looked really shady, kinda just assumed it couldn't be Curtis. Damn it, maybe that's the guy that... Come on, stop mumbling and out with it already. We've been warned at school to watch out for a suspicious man that hangs around Tyrell's back streets. He apparently sells tobacco and hard drugs to young people. That's what the rumors say, anyway. Agnes, why didn't you tell us that? You knew about that. Why didn't you tell us that? We knew about the tobacco bit. So it's like, once that connection was made, you should have told us. I should have made the connection earlier. Oh, thank you. Again, Falcom. They're always on it. Curtis could have bought the tablets from him. That makes a lot of sense. Maybe he was going to meet him today when he said he was going to the bookstore. Looks like it anyway. Next stop, Tyrell's backstreets. Well, I'm glad I could be of help. Please do something for Curtis. We will. Thank you for your help, Albert. Like, how many times has that happened?
No outsiders allowed, huh? Guess that makes sense.
Not like there'd be much to see. It's a day off, so there are hardly any students around.
That's a shame. I would have liked to sit in on one of their lectures.
But yeah, as I was going to say, how many times has that happened where I've pointed out pointed out something that's like, hold on, but this, and this. And then it's usually like the next line or 2 lines from that explain why, or it could just be like pointing it out like that just then. Anya's being like, oh yeah, I should have made that connection. Sorry. Just something like that. Falcom are so aware of these little things and the questions we could have, and I really like that. Even if the explanation is like, oh, sorry, I forgot. Like, yeah, that's fine. People forget things. That makes sense. Simple as that. Right. Back to Tyrell. Tyrell Times is near the back streets.
Go, go, go!
Team 4 back. Enemy spotted. Alright. There we go. Down here. Hello. You look familiar, but I don't know if you are. Could be standard NPC model. Number 7. There he is. That's got to be the seller, right? It just looks like it. Only one way to find out. I'll pose as a customer and try talking to him. You guys hang out here. If we approach him as a group, we'll probably get spooked. Makes sense to me. Good luck, Van. Whoa, hold on a minute, Chief. We're talking about a guy who deals to kids. He's not going to want to sell to an old fart like you. You never miss an opportunity to remind me that I'm older than you, do you? But you might have a point. If his client base is students like Curtis, and I sure as hell am not. Oh, Van, don't let Aaron get to you. You're still perfectly young. No, he's right in this case, though. Yeah, don't worry about it. You should be more confident. Nah, I agree. I'm not the best man for the job. It ought to be someone who looks rebellious enough to enjoy taking drugs, or else our guy won't bite. You're up, kid. Show this old man what a young punk like you can deliver. Hell yeah, I'll deliver alright. Just watch and learn. Yo, dude. Heard you could hook me up with some good shit, that true? Who the hell are you? A good friend of mine told me all about you. Said you got some kick-ass mints that can get you high. Emphasis on the kick. Mind hooking me up with some? I'll pay you whatever you want if it's good. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, man. That lanky-ass school kid fill you in? I'll let you in on a secret. That stuff originally came straight from some pharmaceutical company. I hadn't heard of them before, but I guess they got busted by the cops or something like that. They were out on the market for only a hot minute before they were taken off. I just sold the last of my stock to that kid a little while ago. You're kidding me? All that talk and you got nothing to deliver? Way to let a guy down. Hey, trust me. I'd love to have more so I could make even more money. It is what it is. Seems like that kid's developed a real dependence on him, though. I tried telling him what I just told you, but he got all pissy with me. Told me to give him more before chucking what he had like a little baby. Stuff like that's why I freaking hate dealing with addicts like him. They're always gotta make everything hard. Bingo. So, the kid really did just come through here. Sounds pretty shitty, yeah. What'd he do after he threw the temper tantrum? I suggested some other stuff to try, but he wouldn't listen to me. All he wants are those mints, it seems. I told him to try the Blacklight District just to finally get the kid out of my face. Even told him how to get down there for good measure. Hopefully he'll leave me alone now. You sent him to the Blacklight District? Oh no. It's a bad idea, but Aaron's playing along. Yeah. The Blacklight District, huh? That's a good idea. I could definitely see someone down there hawking that stuff in some dark, dingy corner. Is that all you were after too? Just those mints? I've got plenty of other perfectly good stuff, you know. I'll even give you a free hit. You should try it. Nah, I'm good, man. I'm only interested in those mints too. Great, thanks to nothing. What a waste of time this was. I think I'm gonna try selling somewhere else today. Scene here's deader than a stuffed pom. A stuffed pom? Oh no. Nice work. Sounds like you got a lot out of that dirtbag. I'm just glad we have an idea of what Curtis might be up to now and where he might be. I bet we can guess where those mints came from too. Yeah, it was probably a dummy corporation set up by A. Now what we need to do is find the kid and hear his side of the story. Seeing as he's on his way to the Blacklight District, let's focus on dragging him out first. We can question him after that. Very well. Sounds good to me. A place like that's gonna be dangerous for a kid like him before long. Yeah, not a great place for him to be. Alright, down we go then.
Then let's head over.
Don't think I've seen
Oh,
you
there he is. Finally. I finally found you. Hey, you're Majo, right? The herb seller? Tell me you got the mints I'm looking for. Say, I don't think I recognize you. You look like you came from the surface, the way you're dressed. Hate to break it to you, but I don't stock that garbage. Honestly, you should really quit taking those things if you know what's good for you. Liar. You have those mints. I know it. If I don't get more of those mints, I'm... Bingo. Knew this is where we'd find our Poindexter. What do you want? I could swear I recognize you from somewhere. You're Curtis, right? Clearly something's going on with this kid here. Mind filling me in? Sure, his mum sent out a request for us. Van and company brought the two up to speed on the events that brought them here. They clarified that the mints Curtis had been eating were reportedly laced with illicit substances. What? I didn't hear anything about that. All I knew was that they were hard to come by. I thought they were ordinary mints that just happened to taste like tobacco. Oh, there's more to them than that. Much more. I heard they were manufactured by A, and that they leaked out onto the streets before the cops did their post-Tharbad roundup. The CID stamped out their pipelines, so they're not being made anymore. It's only a matter of time before they're off the streets completely. Well, that's a relief. I get you kids like to rebel against your parents, but hard drugs aren't exactly the gotcha you think they are. It sounds like you didn't really know. It's not about that. I'm not trying to rebel. I need those mints. Why can't you simpletons understand? It's not worth damaging your body. You really need to stop. You're already showing side effects, bud. That outburst there, probably the mints making you irritable and prone to withdrawal. Like it or not, those things are having an impact on you, and they're only going to get worse the longer you're on them. I know that, for crying out loud. I know they're dangerous, but I have to take them. If I don't have them, I can't study hard enough. And if I can't study hard enough, I'll fail my entrance exam, and then I'll just be another stupid kid like all the rest. I don't even want to imagine how my parents would react if that happens. Oh, comes back to the parents being at fault. They'll yell and scream and maybe kick me out of the house. My life's over, isn't it? This poor kid. I feel awful for him. That's uncomfortably close to home. I can understand where he's coming from. This poor kid's been driven into a corner. We have to hold his parents accountable. No middle schooler should be stressing like this. But it's pretty clear to me that the parents share some of the blame here. Most of the blame, I'd say. We're gonna need to give them a talking to. Yeah. I know you're not gonna like this, but I need you to be part of that discussion with us, okay? Triple dog. If you don't mind me asking, do you know who sold those mints to him in the first place? We do, actually. A blonde guy with a goatee. Seemed like he had a habit of slinging his stuff around town. Oh, him. Should have figured. Don't you guys worry, he hasn't been on the street for long. I'll be sure to remind him of the rules we have here. Though frankly, if he's going around selling drugs to children, he won't be on the streets for long. Thanks. We'd really appreciate it. Saves us the bore-ache of having to go find him again. I was going to read that as Balache. It was like, that can't be right. Balache. Yes, Balache. Not bore-ache, Balache. I probably ought to report back to Renee before doing anything else, though. Now that we're done here, let's swing back around to Bermotti's place and fill him in on the details. Good idea. Maybe he can take a look at Curtis and diagnose his condition too. Really? Okay. Van and company quickly got to work, paying Bermotti a visit and fitting him in on the mint mystery. Having previously analysed the ingredients found in the Orbal hookahs, Bermotti was able to prescribe sorely needed medicine for the boy. Oh, there we go. And once Curtis' symptoms subsided, Van contacted his parents. They agreed to reconvene at the family home so that the group could report their findings. Okay, now that everyone's here, we can get started. Well, what did you find? Was I right? Has Curtis made some bad friends? But I'm sure it's just a typical rebellious teen phase. Let's go over what we found and then we can take things from there. Van began by discussing how Curtis bought the tobacco-flavored mints from a dealer on a whim. Curtis soon had developed a dependency on them, since his academics improved when he used them. Van also brought up how the mints were laced with drugs. Though the side effects were light, Curtis soon started taking prescription medicine thinking it would cure him. This is all so much to take in. I feel so dizzy simply thinking about it. To think my own son would be taking prescription drugs. It's even worse than I could have imagined. I'm very disappointed in you. Is this the thanks I get after supporting you in your studies unconditionally? What do you have to say for yourself, young man? Keep it down, will you? Or do you want the whole neighborhood to hear you? As for you, did you forget that your father just started working again? I don't have time for this nonsense, and yet here you are, causing me nothing but problems, as if I don't have enough on my plate already. I practically had to beg for some time off work to come have this conversation with you. Are you even aware of what I'm going through? I'm sorry. I'm honestly surprised at the total lack of shame here. So am I. Are you actually sorry for what you've put us through, young man? It's not what he meant. I trust the police aren't going to have to get involved at this point. The last thing I need is for my son to get arrested. Now, that will really get me fired. No, you two got it all wrong. He's not the one that should feel ashamed. It's you two. You should be mortified. Though I guess that's up to you. Can't force either of you to feel guilty. Guilty? What should I even be guilty for? Don't try to change the subject. Curtis is the one that's been acting like a delinquent. This isn't about us, it's very much about you two. On the contrary, this is all about you folks. Or did you forget already? You asked us to figure out why your kid changed. We're serving you the answer on a silver platter. Curtis was hitting a dead end with his studies and felt like he was being driven into a corner. That may be true, but I fail to see what that has to do with either of us. Since you're not getting it, I'll spell it out for you. Your son didn't fall in with a bad crowd or change because of some damned mints. It's all his parents' fault, a neglectful pair that failed to notice what was going on with him. Or maybe you just didn't want to. I knew I wouldn't like where this conversation was headed. Where did I fail as a father, huh? Have you two ever stopped to think about how Curtis feels? I don't know everything about your family, but it looks like you two only worry about what you want for him and not what he wants. And who are you, thinking you can tell us how to run our family? You don't have the slightest idea of how hard I've worked for this. Also, Curtis could get into a prestigious high school. His future would be set. Exactly. Do you know how much money I've spent on his textbooks and mock tests? I've done all that despite my work situation. This conversation's getting nowhere and fast. Should have known they wouldn't listen. I'd feel wrong bailing out and leaving the kid out to dry, though. Not really my style, but I guess it's time for a little marriage counseling. Oh, what should I tell them? Ooh, I would not go with the recommended divorce. That just seems very, 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 very wrong. So obviously bring up their family bonds. Maybe talking about their family bonds will get these two to snap out of it. Has it ever crossed your mind just why your son was so desperate with his studies? Who knows? Maybe I'm talking out of my arse, but shit, looks like he was just trying to live up to those lofty expectations of yours. That's not why. I just thought a good student should go to a prestigious school. And then you hit a brick wall. So that's when you started turning to those mints to get into Aramis. At the end of the day, is that what you wanted? I mean, sounds to me like what you really wanted was to not let your folks down. You put in all the effort so they would finally acknowledge you. I don't know what to say. And while your son's busting his back to succeed, what support did he have? He had a mother that twisted her love and affection for her child into a leash, and a father acting only for his own self-righteousness without ever stopping to look back at his family. Honestly, none of you ever did. You two don't know the first thing about taking care of a kid if you think this sad excuse for parenting is the best way to raise him. I'm so sorry. I wanted to support you, but it turns out all I was doing was burdening you even more. I might have let it get to my head, having so much power over managing your life. I failed you as a mother. I should have believed in you, and I didn't. I'm also sorry, son. I thought it was my job as the man of the house to provide for my family, and that it was your mother's job to raise you instead. When I was demoted at work, I thought I'd failed you all. But that's not when this all started. It began with me neglecting you. What really should have been my role within this family. Dad, Mum. I think it's time for us three to sit down and talk. As a family. Talk and figure out where we went wrong and how to fix things. You're right. It's time we stopped running from reality, started trying to work together. Yeah, I guess so. We really do need to talk. Phew. Glad things have finally calmed down. You sure didn't pull your punches, Van. You had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. I don't got anything else to add here. The rest is up to you. And don't worry about the whole drug deal. We'll take care of it discreetly so it doesn't become public. We'll get out of your hair now. Good luck, you.
Mission accomplished. Great job, you guys.
Lovely.
Reward deposited.
Ooh. Yay! Oh, maxed it. Okay. So, let's see here what we got with this. Lovely. Vitality droplet times 10. That's not bad at all, is it? That's not bad at all. Okay. Right. So, what do we want to do now? I'm thinking we'll go see about that,
Let's do this.
little event we had over here. Get that sorted, and then we'll see on our to-do list one of these. I'm not sure which one yet. We'll have a gander in a bit after we've done this. Do. Oh, look at this place.
Wow, this cathedral isn't as big as the one in Aracian, but it's still pretty massive. The interior is also quite beautiful, and it's such a soothing place to be in.
It is quite lovely. Quite. I was gonna say, like, I recognized a symbol over there. It's like, that's La Belle. Oh, I was trying to cross the road. Is there a way to cross? No, it's not according to the map. Oh, it's gotta be their embassy though, isn't it? That's what I was gonna say. Ooh. Is there an Erebonian one around? It's like, huh. There probably is an Erebonian one around within the lore, but within the world and around here, like, maybe not. That we can see. Do. Well, look who's here.
Almost festival time.
Almost festival time. Do. Can we not go in there? We can. Ooh. Have we been in here? Oh yeah, we did, didn't we? Story-wise. Yeah. Fair enough. Anyway, got distracted because I saw La Belle's flag icon. What do you want to call it? Yeah,
Not this way.
What? How do I get up there then? Ah. Okay. So, Old Town. Office front.
What are we waiting for?
Do. Right, so. Change party. And Ketra. Alright, no. Now we'll go back.
What are we waiting for?
Now we should be able to go in. Do.
Looks like they're busy getting ready for the memorial service.
Do.
That shouldn't mean we cannot take a look around.
Indeed. Ba-bum. There we go then. Oh. Alright, I think I largely understand. While I don't intend to encourage your illicit activities, I do, however, agree that something must be done about Almata and their legacy. You're welcome to come and go from here as needed while you're in the capital. How very kind of you. Nah, but seriously, I appreciate the help. I was kind of expecting every higher up in the congregation for divine worship to have a stick jammed up their... Celise, you're being rude. However, I will agree that it's a little surprising. Hardly. Let's just say that arrangements had been made by someone else already. And speaking of them... Hi. My, what a coincidence. Yes, coincidence. Father wait, shit. I mean, Master Burgard. Celise, Leon, it's been about a week. Nice to see you too, Bishop Orwell. It's been a while. I appreciate you making arrangements. Don't mention it. We might not be part of the same organization, but you always did well by me when you were on active duty. Now, if you'll excuse me, I shall take my leave. Take however much time you need, all of you. Oh, thank you. Guess they probably would have kicked us out of the door if it wasn't for you, eh, Master? Though we managed quite a lot on our own. Now, don't be so put out. Building bridges where there used to be none takes time. So, what's the current status? Do not believe the rubble's been cleared in Orasian yet. Right, about that. Oh, you're still sticking with these jerks, Master. I was under the impression you were merely accompanying them as a matter of necessity, and that you'd part ways after business was settled in Orasian. You know you can just say hello, right? Ain't gotta deny we're not cut out for the cleanest cloth. Let us just say it's a complicated matter. For the time being, it would be far more beneficial to stick with them than act alone. It isn't too unlike the reason that brought you to the capital in the first place. You never pull a punch. We left the Second Dominion in charge of cleaning up that mess. Those partitions of his should help look for shit faster than I ever could. Appis's team also arrived to lend a hand. He's been acting separately from Waze quite often lately. Sorry, Wazy. It's Wazy, isn't it? Yes. Though I guess that's what you ought to expect of a master of the Kunlun school. I'll leave you two to it then. I'm glad you're doing well. Hopefully I will get to see them sometime. Kevin and Gaius too. Yeah, it would be nice to see, Kevin especially. Please, maybe that'll get him off our backs. The commander's not said shit, so they're bothering us about it instead. That's the commander for you. Were they to upset her, she would sooner drink them under the table than speak frankly. And they are aware of that. And they're having fun. How much of a big deal is Gramps? Someone's fawning over him everywhere we go. Looks to be very well acquainted and respected by a lot of high-ranking individuals. He's got a lot of apprentices outside the church like me. But, why would these idiots be all the way here? What's so important to leave artifact retrieval to someone else? They were talking about Almata's legacy. Could that mean... No, it can't, can it? Something bugging you, Arkwright? Need to let some steam off? We never declared a proper victor for that little game, so why don't you square up for another round? Mind chilling for just 1 second? If you've got some pent-up energy, go bother someone else. Besides, a lot of other players out here in the capital today. Not that that might have anything to do with why you two are here. Tja. Do feel free to guess. I'd love to hope for nothing to happen whatsoever, but we're not naive enough to let our guard down. We're merely here as insurance. Yeah, it's not over, like I said, so, you know. Not unlike you, Spriggan. Fine, guess you've got a point. Triple dot? They get along like cats and dogs. They're not even trying to hide it. Pretty boy over there looks like he has a bone to pick with Van. Oh dear, well, we'll speak to them now. Well, I can't say more than that. Confidential and only for Master's ears. Leon's gonna be spending the next few days in Edith's outskirts. Best wishes to you guys or whatever. I'll give you a hand if those bad predictions of mine turn out to be true. How generous of you. Bad predictions, huh? This follows a pattern, you know. Even if our Spriggan here won't appreciate our well wishes, I do sincerely hope you all will be safe out there. This might be the calm right before the storm, after all. Yeah. Nihon! Pardon me if I overstepped, but I imagine you're of the same mind, right? I mean, never hurts to be careful. No way he didn't know with how he's acting. Didn't know, okay. Well, I can't imagine you'll be in much danger if you have our teacher with you. I'll pray for your safety, even yours, Arkwright. Don't really need it, but thanks for worrying. Right, so let's now see on our to-do list what is next. But Yume, she's maxed. Oh, we've got to do Ren, haven't we? Like, out of everyone here, it's Ren. So, got a 4 SPG from an unknown sender. It wasn't just addressed to me, but Ren Bright as well. Normally, I wouldn't take on a request like this, but I'm oddly curious. Maybe I should see what Ren's up to. Van's group decided to take a short break. Everyone split up so they could spend their free time as they pleased. A Spriggan request addressed towards both you and I. Something stinks real bad about this one, but I don't think it's just a prank either. Thoughts? I can handle it myself if you'd like. That's fine, I'll lend you a hand. We're quite a few shared acquaintances after all. It's worth looking into. Triple up. So, what is the request about? A retrieval. Something's been smuggled into the city via the underground and we're supposed to go get it. The route there is pretty convoluted, and it looks like shit's been encrypted over and over a few times. Not gonna lie, this might be a bit out of my depth. Lucky for you that I'm here. We both are perfectly suited for this matter, so let's cooperate and get to the bottom of this. After agreeing to work together, Van and Ren decoded the 4 SPG. They continued gathering clues afterward from the Orbital Net and the underworld. Eventually, the trail led them to an attaché case. This must be what we're looking for. That was some tricky shit to figure out. They definitely didn't cut us any slack. I'll say, we had to follow the thinnest threads we could find just to get here. Had we not teamed up, this whole search would probably be dead in the water. They must have trusted us to find it in the end, though, if it was here after all. Well, let's crack it open and see what's inside. Van unlocked the attaché case and threw it open to reveal... What? Writing utensils and painting supplies. The hell's this stuff for? There's nothing weird about any of them, just normal arse pencils. I don't get it. Oh, it looks like we've also got these letters here. They're addressed to the both of us. No sender listed, but I can only think of one. Right. Grandpa Joerg, beyond a doubt. Oh. Dear Ren. I realize I'm more than 6 months late. Before I say anything else, I want to congratulate you on your acceptance into Aramis. Time really does fly fast, doesn't it? Feels like it was only yesterday that you enrolled at Genis. You've always had that impeccable talent and appetite for learning, from your studies to your papers and everywhere between. You may have felt at first that there was no point returning to ordinary schooling, that it was a waste of time for a mind of your caliber. But there are some things you can only learn and experience in those common places. I suspect you've come to realize that yourself. Now that you have a place in this world to call your own, it's good to spread your wings and spend time away from your friends and family. Although I only looked after you for a short period, I pray that you find happiness wherever your travels take you. Sincerely, Grandpa Joerg. P.S. Thank you for taking care of those kids and tidying up the workshop during your visit a year and a half ago. I greatly appreciate it. Huh. I didn't know what to get you to celebrate your admission, so I simply picked up some safe bets for a student your age. If you have no use for them, feel free to throw them out. I'll hardly be hurt. Oh, don't be like that, Grandpa. I could never throw these things away. He's still as he ever was, awkward and clumsy, outside of his doll making, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Alright, let's see what he's got to say to me next. To Mr. Van Arkwright. It goes without saying that you and I have done much for each other over the years. I won't dwell on that ancient history. But if I can offer a piece of advice to you, do not avert your eyes from the spirit you have within. Beyond that, please continue to guide and protect my granddaughter. I trust that you're looking out for her while she's in your periphery. Did he really have to write that last part? I'm not used to seeing him be so protective. Hard to blame the guy, he ain't seen you in years. Cut him a little slacker. At least it's not just you he's being nosy with anyway. What did he mean by your spirit within, though? The core. That's an intriguing line. Beats me. No idea what he was talking about, but that's par for the course with him. I mean, you know how he is. A guy just sees everything differently. One hell of a grandpa you've got there, you know that. People say his dolls are beyond lifelike. They even have their own hearts and souls. Maybe that power lets him take a look inside other people's hearts all the same. He could be onto something. Wouldn't hurt to keep what he wrote to you in mind, whatever it turns out to mean. Maybe, yeah. So, where's that old fart anyway? Any idea where he is or what he's up to these days? I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. He may very well have slipped back to his old workshop in Crossbell by now. Or perhaps he's abandoned it and set up shop somewhere else entirely. It's so hard to tell with him. My master was like that too. Maybe his being all cryptic and shit's just part of getting old. Maybe so. I'm happy to have heard from him at least. Thanks for bringing me along, Van. I'll have to return the favor one of these days. Hey, take it down a notch. You play with fire, you might get burned. Oh, you think I'm still just some little girl, do you? I'll be all grown up before you know it. In many ways, I already am. At least, enough for me to reach out and lend you a hand when you need it most. Just like you did for me all those years ago. Sheesh. The old man's right. This girl is growing up fast. Too fast, if you ask me. Sure. I'll ring you up if I really need a hand. Van saw Ren back to her dormitory and left the attaché case in her care. With that, the two went their separate ways. And just like that, here's back to the usual business.
I'll invite you to a tea party sometime. I do so enjoy being a good hostess.
I worry about your tea parties. I mean, I like tea parties, but still. I do worry. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. Nothing from that. Right, so I'm going to use that as a place to now end this part. And in the next part, what we'll do is we'll do the rounds. But we'll start with another one of the connection events here. Which shall we do? I'm thinking Fee. Because it's Fee. You know, we don't really know those two that well. So it's like, It's Fee. Nina would be interesting as well. And obviously Yume, we've finished as well already. So it's like, it may be a case of like these three anyway, because I'm sure we'll get another point of free time somewhere. But if we don't, these two will be the priority. Yeah. Unless this is something to do with... No, it's not involving her father at all. No. So anyway, we'll see you in the next part. Ta-ra for now.